All right, next up is Scud, the disposable assassin with FeRReTDiPiTY.
Oh, hi.
Hi. How are you?
I was busy reading my Scud the Disposable Assassin instruction manual. Just real quick. Let me just read a couple lines for this. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. These days everybody's an anti-hero. The Man of Steel is as Maximus' romance novel up. The Dark Knight without his wholesome Adam West reputation. The Webhead and his brand new, best-selling Grimace. What's next? The Super Friends headlining a Lollapalooza? This dark age of apathy and chronic bitterness, only one shines as the true anti-hero. Only one is born from darkness, a machine born from the machine. With no culture, no race, no past, no future, no cable TV, no regrets, no soul, and a dead-end job. Scud the Disposable Assassin. Programmed with a will to live, a penchant for murder, and a fate sealed in self-destruction. Scud is the brainchild of his creator's broken heart. With a cyanide capsule for a head, a gun sight for a left eye, machine gun vents for legs, and a pair of eternally loaded magnums in hand, Scud is Generation X incarnate. He's a little bit Star Wars, a little bit Natural Born Killers, a little bit Reservoir Dogs, a little bit John Woo. And for just one franc, he's all yours, direct from your friendly Scud co-vending machine.
Now that is a winner.
This is a 1997 Sega Saturn US exclusive, one of 5. The other 4 are all sports games. This is the only one that's based off a comic that comes from Milwaukee, old Milwaukee. You see Drywall. He's a cool character. This is Scud %, sadly, but we will see Drywall. He's relevant in the story. And time begins when we gain control of the character, and that will be after the first or second loading screen, after the second one, because I have to go through a cutscene. So I will count you down. Upon that. Also, we are using the best controller in existence. That would be the Sega Saturn 3D control pad. No, the games do not go in here, though a game could fit in here.
Ooh, the MVP. It's my personal favorite.
It does have quite good shoulder triggers. Even better than Dreamcast. Very underrated. Alright. We will start in 3, 2, 1. Long one. Very long one. Because the loading is very long. 1. Go.
Would you like a donation while we're waiting for the loading screen?
So, Scud is a, if you can't tell, is a run and gun, but it also has first-person Lightgun perspectives. You can play the game with the Sega Stunner. In fact, you can play with 2 Sega Stunners, because as you see, he holds 2 guns. Our first mission is to take out the heart-mouth, like giant maw, heart squid, and just amalgamation, Jeff, who is why Scud came out of the vending machine. Now, as I was saying in that intro in the instruction manual, these Scuds are basically assassins that you hire from vending machines, but because they have cyanide capsules for heads and to prevent wanton killing everywhere, they self-destruct upon dissolution of their target. So, as he's on the way to the target, suddenly this Scud, number 1373, decides, wait a minute, I don't want to die. So, at this first boss, against Jeff, Scud decides, oh, I'm just going to maim it, and then keep it alive, because if Jeff's alive, then I'm alive.
Do we have time for a quick donation? Can you hear me, FeRReT?
Sorry, what?
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. We got a $10 donation from Xylos that says, good luck on your awful game.
Awful, alright? It does a thing and it does it well. Alright, so now we are after doing that, now the problem with keeping someone alive in perpetuity, that costs a lot of money. So, Scud now, with his skills, says, well, I'll become an assassin for hire. It's a regular and normal one. I'll do it for money to pay the hospital bills for Jeff. So, the local Don shows up and says, hey, I want you to pop FeRReTDiPiTY. Yes, that is his name. And if you do that, yeah, we'll pay some of your bills. So he must go to the Mark Goodson State Penitentiary. Yes, the same Mark Goodson that was the producer of The Price is Right. And infiltrate and go take care of him. And that's what we do now. And we do so by going through the very difficult maze that is right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And that will get us to a lineup where we have to find Barry and then escape. A semi-truck. I do have to remind myself which direction to go because you have to do the whole thing. If you go wrong even once, you have to do the whole thing again, and that's not fun for anyone. So. Right, left, right. The directions are hard, but it's easy to, because they all look the same. Very easy to get across. There's a dash mechanic, as you can see in this. The life is in the bottom left. You get 5 credits. If you run out of 5 credits, the game is over. I have no way to prevent that. There is a 20% chance, give or take, that we will not beat the game because the final level, the final screen, can be a troll. But you will literally miss nothing but the ending cutscene. So if that happens, so be it. There is a level select, but it's not your traditional Sega level select where you can just choose and go. You have to pause in each level, then input the code, then go to the next one, then pause, put in the code again, wait for the cutscenes load each time. It takes like 5 minutes. It's not worth it. Right. There are weapon power-ups in this game. Lasers, plasma shot. The black hearts that you will see, those are health pickups. You get a health refill at the end of each level, so as long as you can take up to your full bar of damage and you'll get a badge. That's ideal. So that's why we did slow down a little bit on the first stage to pick up those healths to save the credits. That's why I'm gonna get this laser here, or the plasma. And then in this screen, now we go up to the lineup. The faster we find Palapui, the faster it ends. But if you don't shoot him, it still advances anyways, which is not how the comic works. So be it.
You have time for another donation?
There you go. Yep, that would be a good time.
All right. We have, and I apologize if I get this name totally wrong, because I'm just an awful human being. We got $5.73 from Serene, saying the price is right.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, and then at the end, we have one or two robots, completely RNG, blocking our way out of here. And it looks like it's one today. Our lucky day. One thing you'll notice, if you see me stopping randomly, the dash mechanic in this game can best be described as finicky. You have to double tap, then hold, so it says. It's really more you have to hit it about 1.5 times. If you hit it once and hold, it will not work. If you hit it twice, you'll cancel your second one. So it's very awkward in that sense. So, having taken out FeRReTDiPiTY, we take that semi-truck that was just there, and we drive off a cliff to escape from the prison guards that were all trying to stop us. And that brings us to the desert, and the desert people follow the great word of Hank Grit, who is the guy on the billboard that sells a popular brand of manwich. A meat slurry, if you will. And they worship him because he's very manly, apparently. even though they have never met him. They want to work with Scud and say, Scud's great, and they say, great. You can start by bringing us into the prison up there and getting back our leader, Barry Palapui, which is exactly the person that we just took out. So they become irate at this, and obviously turn against them. There is a one of the best movements for this, if you're wondering why I'm just eating hits, taking the jump dash, as you'll see, is one of the fastest methods for moves. So that was our first credit that we took there. It's okay, like I said, you get 5. After the first 3 levels, you generally don't need any more credits. There is a stun lock here. We're probably going to lose it a little bit because his buddy comes out. I believe his name's Chuck Brown, if I remember correctly. It's a very difficult attack pattern. One where you keep pressing the melee. Yes, Scud has a melee button. Just keep him slightly off screen. Alright, and that is it for the desert. So having get out of that, this is all, by the way, 3 years worth of a comic book, which I did read over the week. It's condensed a little bit, of course, because it needs to fit in a sound game. And, you know, back then, cutscenes were more important than the gameplay. But we get to the zombies, and the zombies are made by a shaman version of Benjamin Franklin, yes, and his goal is to open the gates of hell and to take over. So we must stop them. In addition to just zombies, there are also, as you will see, T-Rex zombies. There are a lot of fake paths in this one, and you'll see the dynamite being thrown. The best way I can describe this dynamite from their hitboxes or their hurtboxes is yes. The answer is yes. If you are in the vicinity of them, they'll hit you. If you're nowhere near them, they'll hit you. If you're directly next to them, they won't hit you. So best of luck figuring that out. The best answer is to, as per usual, just go. Scaffolding now. This one's got a few tricky jumps. The enemy gate spawns in this game, they're not true random, but they're not exactly locked in either. It's kind of this weird in between. They will spawn in a vicinity every time, but it will not be in the same exact spot. Alright, so this is the vending machine we have to face. The trick to this one, we want to keep at least 2 enemies on the screen at any point, or else it will spawn more enemies. And while those enemies are being spawned, the boss is invulnerable. We're going to take a credit here. Also, while it's jumping, it's invulnerable as well. There we go. Pretty good boss fight. And now is actually a great time for donations if you got it, because we have our auto-scroller coming up. And as Scud goes to space, because there is a werewolf in space, because why not? His goal is to get to the moon because he will become a god if he does so.
Well, yeah, as one does, obviously. We do not have any pending donations, so I can take a quick moment to say a little bit about Trans Lifeline. Fastest for Fall Fest is raising money for the Trans Lifeline. Since 2014, Trans Lifeline's hotline has evolved from an entirely volunteer-run operation into a comprehensive resource that employs trans-identified staff and volunteers in a variety of roles. Hotline operators have already logged thousands of hours and are committed to being a reliable resource for years to come with your support. For more information, please visit translifeline.org. And when you're making a donation, be sure to assign it to an incentive or a bid war. We do have a few bid wars still up, including the extra boss bid war for Dark Souls 3. Right now, Ancient Wyvern's in the lead with $15, so easy to get in there and snipe that right now. Super Mario RPG Randomizer, happening in the morning, has a starting character bid war. Bowser is currently in the lead with $55. So get your donations in for those bid wars.
I should also note, if you'll see in the background, the space station is named Asgard. Not at all related to any other space entities based on comics that reside in Asgard. Additionally, this is actually, the space station is run out of Houston, Texas, right? But it is the British Space Program's American division. So it is actually Britain that have control of the space station. Their headquarters are in Houston. In the comic, they don't really go into this in the game, but in the comic, Scud, while leaving the penitentiary, got into an accident. One of his arms was lost, so he needs to get a replacement one. The replacement takes a week, and he has to go take this job, and says, well, I don't have time, I gotta go, I need to keep this person alive. So he's like, well, you can take the loaner arm. Well, the guy who was doing it didn't know the loaner arm came from the werewolf, which gives even Scud the insatiable hunger. He must feed it a sandwich every night, or else it will emaciate. And the person that got Scud's arm is the werewolf that is now on the space station, so just complete coincidence.
The space station that's from the British military located in Texas?
Located, based out of Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas? What a game. Love it.
If you would like to get the comic, it's actually a pretty good read. For a 90s comic, it is aged quite well. Rob Schrab wrote it. The first 3/4 of it came out from 94 to 97, but it ended on a cliffhanger. I did actually get a conclusion in 2009. You can get it was $35 for the omnibus, so you can get the whole thing.
I might actually check that out. This is pretty interesting.
It's definitely interesting. It may not be for everyone, but it has personality for sure.
It's delightfully absurd.
One of the writers on this, actually, I don't know if any of you know Community at all.
I love
Dan
Community.
Harmon actually did write for this comic.
Okay, well, I'm sold. You had me on Dan Harmon.
So there you go. It has that same sort of zany humor and referential treatment. I was just interested because it's a Lightgun game. I always appreciate Lightgun games. This is the boss. The best way to beat the boss is to shoot at an east-northeast angle, which on a Saturn D-pad is best described as difficult. We try our best. Don't work, we just shoot diagonally.
And hey, we hit
$8,000.
Do we have some time for some quick donations?
A little bit.
Okay. So a few donations came and helped us hit that $8,000. One from Shakan the Forever Ferret, $15.73 with no comment, and another $509 from Freckles that says more games, please. Thank you so much for your generous donations.
Thank you, that's awesome. And then because it's a mid-90s game, shocker, there's a boss rush in a game with 7 stages. So if you liked them the first time, you'll like them even more the second time.
Reuse content in my video games? What? I don't believe it.
That's the first one down. The dinosaurs have made their return. But there is more. Once you beat the game, you get to play as Drywall if you like. He has a... I didn't really explain him too much. The way we fell back to Earth was by Drywall. Our partner, he saved us. He actually stores things inside himself. He has a pocket galaxy. And it's made of zippers. Like, entirely made of zippers. He also shoots fish out of a backpack. So he does have a very tragic backstory. He's actually the soul of his creator's deceased son.
I didn't think it would get more. It could get more absurd than a light gun game based around Aerosmith, but this is kind of topping it.
No, they would at least make that an arcade cabinet. If they made this an arcade cabinet, I would be very, very shocked. So even though this game came out in '97, these enemies shoot Dreamcast swirls, so and have dartboards for shields. So that's always fun. A little bit of anachronism for you. Using this one again. Good.
This game has that feeling that it's just like begging to be played with 3D glasses. Which is a totally on-brand thing for Sega to do.
Yeah, I was very confused as to why this game was a Saturn exclusive, and I looked further into it, and it quite literally was because the Saturn wasn't selling, and the dev kit was about 90% cheaper than a PS1 dev kit. And they said, sure, that sounds great. There's a lot of mashing in this game, it gets tiring. I picked a lot of mash heavy games this fast. Okay. And here's the ending. We must shoot the nuke off the stage. There is a timer. We game over if it doesn't get up. There is a non-zero chance that we fail this. I will try my best.
So times at the end of the timer, should it succeed?
Once we lose control, so once the bomb's off the screen.
Okay.
Or when we gamed over, whichever comes first. That will be. This is the hardest one.
Come on, everybody, get your hype in chat.
There's no way to hold your position while also jumping. So in their infinite wisdom, to shoot off screen, you have to hold diagonal left, but then that walks you diagonal left, and then you walk out the platform. So you have to get this on high enough. There you go. No.
Come on, chat. Give us your energy.
No. Oh, no. I think it's game over. Yep. Game over. Literally, there was one more second. We got off the top. That is time. There's literally no way to get back to it. You got one crack at it. That's not abnormal. Very
that was yeah, it was a fantastic run and very interesting game. I can't wait to learn more about this.
Yeah, I do recommend. You usually would think that a Saturn game is rare and hard to find, but this one's still pretty cheap. You can get it for $20 or so. Worth checking out. And like I said, it's really 3 games in one. You can play as co-op, you can play as drywall, you can play as obviously a Scud, but additionally you can play with 1 or 2 light guns. Those both completely change the levels. Instead of having the platforming at all, you're quite literally just going through as a light gun game. Not really a speed game, but very fun as a casual game. And I do recommend everyone check out Scud.
Thank you so much. Would you like to give any more shout-outs?
Thank you to Time Wander for putting this. I don't speedrun a game unless there's already a page, and literal days before I played this, Time Wander did post this, so I went to pick up this game. I was very happy about it. Enjoyed it. Thanks for Fast as Furs helping me out. Thanks for the donations, and yeah.
Thank you so much. We will be back here in just a bit with AI Dungeon with Bro Sencha.